Q. In today's short tutorial, I will explain to you what Google Rich Snippets are and how to incorporate them into your Bubble application and why they are useful and why it's highly recommended that you add them if there's a use case for rich snippets. So what are rich snippets? So first of all, we're talking about something only applying for Google, so the Google search engine, and what you probably know already, the classic things like SEO. You want to rank high for certain keywords, and your website will rank accordingly. We have a title, we have a meta description, and there's various things you can do to optimize for SEO purposes. And we have a lot of other tutorials that talk about this. I'm not gonna go into too much detail here, but there's something else which is called Google Rich Snippets or structured data. And these are basically exclusive snippets by Google, which are displayed within the search results. So I think the best thing would be to just go through some of these examples here. We're right now on the Google website here, and I'm quite sure that you have already seen some of these examples in your everyday Googling. So for example, you're Googling for an article and you will see this top story snippet, and then you will see this rectangle with an article when it's published, the title and thumbnail. Again, this looks different than a normal search result. Obviously, it looks much nicer. It stands out much more. We can have book-rich snippets so that if you write the name of a book, the book will immediately be shown with summary quotes and where you can buy the book. We have breadcrumbs. This is something small. These are just basically showing the navigation within the website. We have carousels, courses. So the courses can be displayed as these sub snippets here. A few other things, event, obviously quite interesting, fact check, something new, FAQ, that's very helpful and often used. So you can add your FAQs directly within your Google search results. So we have how-to snippets, image license, job postings, that might be very helpful, local businesses, logo, movie, podcast, products. As you can see, a lot of things. This might be a really interesting snippet for many people, especially this rating snippet. This is something you see a lot, and we can have another picture here so you can see these two listings. So for example, user searches for Nikon D500, which is a camera. We have these three search results, and then we have the snippet called rating within the search result, and you see the average rating and the number of reviews as well as the price and if it's in stock. And I can already tell you these snippets or these search listings with the rating included, they stand out much more than the third search result. They just give the sense of trust in a way, and the user is usually more likely to click on the things that have a rating inside. So here another example, we have this snippet here. We have also, this is also a snippet, the product snippet, and here is no snippet. Again, this looks, I would say, the most attractive, especially because there's also color, there's stars, and yeah, it just catches attention. So this is a recipe snippet here together with a rating snippet as well. So again, lots of different possibilities. This is one last example here. Let's take a look at that. So this is about rich snippet. This is something you can't control. Because Google will decide what to add as that. But all other things, and this is what today's tutorial is going to be about, allow you to convert your data into structured data, as Google calls it, so that Google can basically find this information and then display it in the way that you can see here according to what rich snippet you want to use. One very important thing I want to note at the beginning is that even though you do that, even though you add your book as a rich snippet to your pages, for example, this will not mean that Google will display this rich snippet. It will allow Google to display it if you make the correct structured data, but if Google believes for some other reason that your book is not relevant or any other reason, it might not be displayed. Just to keep that in mind, this is not a guaranteed way of getting rich snippets, but it is required if you want to have rich snippets. And we use rich snippets for almost all our applications. I believe that it's can always be helpful depending on obviously what you offer, what your website does. So a few things I want to show you here. First of all, this should be a no-code tutorial. So adding rich snippets involves adding code, and obviously you can do that. And there's this awfully long documentation here showing you how to add different rich snippets. But what we would highly recommend to you, and disclaimer, these are our plugins, but we have a few plugins here. So we have in the Bubble plugin store. So we have, for example, job posting. We have course, article, logo, product, FAQ, video, software app. So not all of them, but quite a few. I would highly recommend you to use these plugins. Again, disclaimer, we built them, but obviously you can add the code yourself. We're not gonna show this in this tutorial here. This would just take too long, and we want to show you a few different rich snippets here. So one really interesting one is FAQ. Okay, and this allows you to add this typical FAQ snippet. So okay, so let's close this, and I want to show you how this would look. So let's go ahead to our, for example, review snippets, all right? And the review snippets, again, look something like this. So we have our product, and then we have this rating here displayed within your application. And there's a really easy way to do this. All you have to do is, in this case, install this plugin called Review Snippet, okay? And you will then have access to this element called Review Snippet. What you want to do, you want to drag this onto your page, and you will have this element, okay? And now you have a few options you can configure. So you can say, all right, what's the type of this review? Okay, so what is being reviewed here? Is it a product? Is it an organization, movie, and so on and so forth? I believe in most cases it will be a product, so let's stay with product. And then two really simple fields. Well, what's the image of the product and what's the name of the product? Great thing here is both of these can be dynamic. So let's say you have product pages, you can and hundreds of products in your Bubble application, you can set this dynamic. So you can say current page product's name, current page product's image. Okay, same thing here. This is the rating value and the rating count, which means how many ratings have there been in total? What is the average rating? Okay. In this case, I enter that statically. How would you do this in a dynamic environment? Well, you would simply say, okay, so do a search for ratings count. Okay. And then here you could say, do a search for ratings average. Okay. And the value should be 1 to 5. So 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. And that's basically it. And if we go ahead and preview this, in our application, you won't see anything here. This is because obviously the code will be added and rich snippets will then be displayed in the Google search results if Google finds them. And you can check that by going to inspect in Safari or Chrome and then just searching for schema or schema. And in this case, you can see the code is added. We have the schema org, the type product, best product ever, image, we have the ratings and so on and so forth. You can also go ahead and test rich results by going ahead and going to this testing site, and you can either go ahead and do a rich results test or a schema markup validator. Both works. You can go ahead and enter the URL of the page you want to test, and then Google will tell you if it works or if it doesn't work. And this applies basically for all the other plugins that we have released as well. So we have, for example, we have a product snippet here. Let's take a look at that, how this looks. It contains a bit more fields. We have a headline. We have a few different images for different resolutions, the date published, date modified, the author, the organization name, and so on and so forth. Sorry, this is for article, actually, article snippet. We can go ahead for course snippet. Let's take a look at that. For course, we simply have the name, description, and course provider. We have things like video snippets, which is also really interesting. So the video snippet has a video name, description, image, upload date, duration, and the actual URL of the video. How does a video snippet look? Well, let's take a look at that. I personally think it's quite interesting. Let's try to find video here. So what you might know, if you Google for something, often the YouTube video will come in the search results. And what you can do with this video rich snippet, you can basically also be displayed in a search result as your video. But instead of users clicking on this and then being brought to YouTube, they will actually brought to the page where your video is hosted. So really, really great way to get into the search results, to get your videos out there. If you have some kind of dynamic video site, highly recommended to add the video snippet to your pages. So yeah, quick introduction. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. I would highly recommend, as I already told you, as I mentioned already, I would highly recommend to add rich snippets if there's a use case, obviously, but it doesn't harm you in any way. So why not add them to your bubble pages if you can add them. So thank you for watching, and see you guys for the next tutorial of NoCHQ. Bye.